All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're breaking down how you can take your podcast and turn it from just another piece of content into a high-performance, lead-generating machine. And the secret? It's all about designing it for one and only one ideal customer.
But first, let's talk about the big, frustrating question that so many of us in B2B have faced. You pour your heart and soul into your podcast. You have amazing conversations. But when you check the numbers, there's nothing. No real business impact. It feels like you're just shouting into the void. So why aren't all those great episodes turning into actual qualified leads?
And here's the answer that completely flips the script. The problem probably isn't your content. It's not that your conversations are bad. The real issue is that there's no system behind it. It's a failure in how you repurpose and distribute that content to the right people. It's a strategy problem.
So, to fix this, we have to start with a fundamental shift in our thinking. We need to stop acting like old-school radio, just broadcasting a message out to the world and hoping for the best. It's time to get way more focused, way more precise. It's time to start narrowcasting.
And you can see the difference right here. On the left, you've got the old broadcasting model. The goal is to reach everyone. The content is super general. And success? Well, that's just measured in downloads, a vanity metric. But on the right, that's the narrowcasting model. The goal is to reach one specific type of person, your ideal customer profile. The content is hyper-specific to their problems. And success is measured in the only thing that really matters, qualified leads.
Okay, so we've got the right mindset. Now, how do we actually build this thing? Well, the key, and this is so important, is to engineer the entire funnel backwards. You start with the end goal, the sale, and then you work your way back from there.
The whole strategy really comes down to these three core pillars. First, you have to know exactly what business outcome you're aiming for. Second, you build the entire show around that single ICP we talked about. And third, you have to engineer your episodes from the ground up to actually drive conversions, not just to have a nice chat. And that second step, building for just one ICP, is the master key. It's the one decision that makes everything else fall into place. It tells you what topics to cover, which guests to invite, the exact questions you need to ask, and even the language and jargon you use. When a listener feels like a show was literally made just for them, you build trust almost instantly. So you've got the blueprint for your strategy, but what's the fuel? What actually powers this engine and gets you in front of your audience? In today's world, the answer is micro-content. And I'm not talking about little promotional trailers. These short clips are the main engine for the entire funnel. But listen, not just any clip will work. For this to be effective, it has to be what we call a stand-alone insight. That means it delivers one single, clear idea. It has to make perfect sense, even if you have zero context. And most importantly, it has to provide real value, all by itself, even if the viewer never, ever watches the full episode. And the tone of these clips is absolutely critical, especially for a serious B2B audience. This quote just nails it. When you're trying to reach senior people at companies like Snowflake or Databricks, hype doesn't work. Calm, authoritative insights are what build trust. Credibility is everything. Okay, this all sounds great, but let's be realistic. How do you possibly create a steady stream of these high-quality, professional-looking clips without it turning into a logistical nightmare? Well, that's where a specialized production model comes in. Just look at the difference here. On the left, you've got traditional video production. It's a huge pain. Big crews, long setups, weeks of editing, and it costs a fortune. But on the right, you have the micro video lab model. It's a turnkey setup. You can literally record a month's worth of content in one afternoon using live-to-tape technology that slashes your editing time. I mean, the workflow is almost laughably simple because all the professional-grade lighting, cameras, and audio are already set up and dialed in for you. You just walk in, you hit the record button, and you walk out a few hours later with all your footage. It's a machine built for efficiency. And to be crystal clear, this kind of lab isn't designed to shoot a feature film. It's purpose-built for one thing and one thing only, to create the exact assets that powered this funnel. We're talking about the vertical and horizontal clips that are designed to grab attention on social media and actually drive sales leads. Okay, so your engine is running, your micro-content is out there, and it's grabbing the attention of your perfect customer. Now we get to the final and most important part of the funnel. How do you take that attention and turn it into a real business relationship? You have to build a low-friction bridge. Look, a busy B2B professional is not going to book a demo after watching a 60-second video.
So instead, you use soft calls to action that spark curiosity, things like read the full breakdown. You offer them a genuinely useful resource, like a free PDF guide, and you make it incredibly easy to get with a simple landing page or even a text to download.
Once they've opted in, they enter a simple, automated email sequence. And this is not about spamming them. It's a smart, systematic way to build trust. You immediately send them the resource they asked for. Then, you follow up with a couple more emails that provide even more value on that same topic. And only then, once you've earned their trust, do you present a clear offer for a demo. And this is where your podcast becomes so much more than just a marketing asset. It becomes an incredibly powerful sales enablement tool. Your sales team can now send specific, relevant episodes to prospects to warm them up before a meeting, or use a new episode as the perfect excuse to re-engage a prospect who's gone cold. So let's just recap that entire journey from start to finish. It all starts when your ideal prospect sees a 60-second insight clip on LinkedIn. They click through to the full episode to get more depth. They download a related checklist you mentioned, and you've captured a lead. They then get a few value-packed emails that build trust. And finally, they feel informed and confident enough to accept your offer for a demo. It's a complete, predictable system.
And all of this leaves us with one big final question to think about. Now that the tools to create professional, broadcast-quality video are this easy and this accessible, for any business that truly wants to be taken seriously, is the era of the grainy, poorly lit webcam video finally over for good?